claiming tax relief for the interest it's paying the lender. So we've got to say that you're not the borrower anymore, the company's the borrower. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay, so for that, I can't comment because he claims his documentation can do that. So if that works from a legal perspective, then okay. So the risks, what are the risks? What's your question?
Why do the loans have to? If the loans,
Because if the loans are your personal responsibility, then the company can't claim tax relief for the interest it's paying the lenders.
So basically, my loans, my responsibility.
So only you can claim the tax relief for against your rental income currently. If the company is receiving the rental income because it owns the properties, but you're paying the interest, then nothing. That's not what we want, because you're going to get no tax relief, and the company is going to get no tax relief either.
Right. Okay.
It has to be that the loans go into the company.
Okay. And the only way you can get loans in the company is by changing the name of the mortgages.
Well, he claims his documentation, his paperwork works in a way that the loans go into the company, even though the lenders don't know about it.
Okay.
But I can't comment on that.
Okay.
As I said to you, from my limited amount of legal knowledge, you can't novate or assign a loan unless the lender knows about it or agrees to it. But you don't want that the revenue come back and say, these loans never went into the company. We're not giving the company tax relief, because then you're really snookered.
Okay, so risk is HMRC comes back.
They may not be happy with his paperwork, and they may say, we agree the properties went into the company, but the loans didn't.
And then you've got a huge tax bill.
Well, you've got a real problem. But as I said, I can't comment. I'm not a legal person.
Okay.
That's one risk. Second risk is that they may disqualify partnership relief, because they may say you're doing it for tax avoidance purposes. It's true there's a partnership relief, a statutory partnership relief. But there's a clause in it that says that it can't be done for tax avoidance purposes. So you don't want that after, you'd have to set up a proper partnership between you and your wife, and you'd have to show, then you'd have to claim partnership relief. So you don't want that the revenue come back. There's section 77 or 75, I can't remember which, that says if you're doing it for tax avoidance purposes, it's not going to work. You don't want that.
Then you could have stamp duty and tax bill.
Yes. Which is going to be a lot of money on a portfolio of 2-point-something million.
Mm. Yeah, okay.
Probably the easiest bit is the incorporation relief, because I would imagine running so many properties takes up some time and a lot of manpower.
Yeah.
So if so, you can claim that you're running a business. You may or may not have heard of the Ramsey case, where this lady had a difference of opinion with HMRC, and she won eventually because she showed that she was working 20 hours a week on her properties. And although it was not a trade, because there are differences in nuances in the tax legislation, it's not a trade because it's property, but it's a business. And a business, that means you're applying yourself fully to running this. It's not just an armchair occupation. Okay? And the result of the Ramsey case was that if somebody's working 20 hours a week and they're fully applied to this, it's not just a side occupation; it's a full-time occupation, or pretty full-time. Then you can claim this business relief, this incorporation relief from the capital gains tax. But you've got to.
That's a risk. You don't think that's just a risk per se?
No, there's not such a risk, because there was an actual court case on this. But I need to ask you something, because there is a small possibility that that there could be some capital gains tax. Can I, when I looked at your accounts, P&M Properties from the accountant,
Yeah.
I looked at the balance sheet. Your properties are worth something like 1.9. No, sorry, 2.9.
Yeah.
3 million.
Yes. Yeah.
You agree to that?
Yeah.
Okay, your loans look to me like something like, second, 1.6 million.
Right, okay, yeah.
You agree to that?
Yeah.
That's why I'm looking here. Something give or take. Okay, so now, how much is your business worth? The net worth of your business is something like 1.4. Actually, that's what it says on the account 1.358.
Okay.
So if I'd offer you 1.4 for your business, you say, well, that's a reasonable offer.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that's the net value of your business, the assets minus the liabilities.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you something which you'll find very difficult to answer. What kind of capital gain would you think there is on your properties? If you'd sell all your properties today to your next door neighbour, to a third party,
Well, yeah, it could be, do you know what? It could be like 5 to 10%.
is that all?
I don't think it's gone up that much, if I'm honest.
You haven't bought them so long ago.
They're all bought in, no, I have it's like 2008, 9, 10.
Right.
But from the market value, it hasn't gone up very much.
Right. So therefore, we're not
But
speaking about major
therefore,
figures.
I bought at 25% below market value most of them.
Right. So the capital gain we're avoiding by claiming corporation relief is not that major.
Right, okay.
It's not going to be a capital gain of 1.4.
No.
Right. I'll tell you why. Because if the capital gain, I speak to a lot of people, and some of them, their properties, their portfolio is pregnant with a large capital gain. If the capital gain is greater than the net equity of the business, then there's capital gains tax to pay. But in your case, it's not going to be as much as 1.4, much less than that.
So the net equity of the business, if the capital gains is greater than net equity of the business.
So I'll explain to you why. If you would incorporate your business, then your shares would be worth something like 1.4 million. Because we said that the net value of your business is around about 1.4 million.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's say there's a capital gain on your portfolio. If you sell it today, before any incorporation, you sell it to your next door neighbour, you'd make a capital gain of, let's say, 500 grand. Well, it's probably not that much. 300 grand.
Yeah.
Okay, so the way incorporation relief works is that although your shares are worth 1.4 million, because that's the net value of your business, but for tax purposes, the shares are worth less because we've reduced the value of the shares by the gain you're avoiding. So if the gain you're avoiding is 300 grand, so for tax purposes, your shares are only worth 1.1 million.
Yeah.
So if tomorrow you decide you've had enough, you want to go to Miami, and you want to sell your shares to your next door neighbor, then you'd have a capital gain on your shares of 300 grand.
Yeah, okay.
Because the value of your shares is reduced for tax purposes.
Right, okay.
That's the way incorporation relief works.
Right, okay.
Okay. But, so I was just concerned that maybe there was a large capital gain on your properties, but it's not so large, so we don't have an issue there. That's okay. I'll just explain briefly. Let's say we would have a situation where somebody bought their properties ages ago, and they've gone up, and now the capital gain that they're avoiding by incorporating is, let's say, 1.8 million. You can have such a situation.
Right, okay.
If so, although their